Why can't Clark Kent drive quickly? Because he always seems to get stuck in the Lois Lane. Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Comic Book Editions Volume 153. In today's video, I'm going to unbox an AOK from Oldwolf65. Stick around to see what Tony sent me. I also have a book from another community member to share with you as well. Thanks for stopping by. My comic book from Big Will's Comics has arrived. Let me share with you what I claimed from his Instagram page. How about this? I've been wanting this one for a while. Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane, Volume 1, Issue number 105. This was published in 1970. It's a Curt Swan cover. This is a great story, but it's a key for being the first appearance of Rose and Thorn. Rose and Thorn would do backup stories in the Lois Lane title for several years. What I wasn't expecting in this issue that I loved is the fact that Rose and Thorn plays into the Lois Lane story in the first part. And then when we get to the second story, the solo Rose and Thorn story, it almost gives us a prequel of what happened before the main first story with Lois Lane. Both stories were very good. I've kind of noticed this era of Lois Lane I really seem to enjoy. From about 1970 on up to the end of the series I enjoyed. And I plan on collecting Lois Lane at least from 105 on up to the end before she merged into the Superman family title. And I probably need maybe about 13 or 14 more issues to have that completed. Once I do, I'll start collecting Lois Lane backwards. So I have 105, the next one I would try to get would be 104, and so on and so forth. Now I do have some previous issues prior to issue 105 as well. But some of the very earlier Silver Age aren't necessarily my favorite reads, but I've said that about other DC Silver Age titles. Silver Age DC, some can be really good, and some can be just a little bit too out there for me to enjoy. But this is one that I definitely did enjoy. When I saw Big Will's Comics post this on his Instagram page, I knew I had to claim it. If you would like to check out some of the books that he's offering, big_wills_comics on Instagram. I also left a link in the description on this YouTube video. Maybe you'll find something that you've been looking for. I thought the prices were very reasonable and it was shipped very safe and secure. So thanks, Will. I appreciate it a whole bunch. Now we move on to Tony's AOK. You might remember almost a year ago, it was Comic Book Editions Volume 113 that I got my very first AOK from Oldwolf65, Tony. And I was so surprised then he sent me this amazing Capt Marvel Volume 1, Issue number 2. And I mentioned this actually recently in a video, how that AOK tripped a whole series of AOKs because the events of Comic Book Editions Volume 113 inspired me to buy some later Capt Marvel comic books, which I showed in Comic Book Editions Volume 115. Then in 135, Volume 135 of Comic Book Editions, I ended up getting the first appearance of Capt Marvel, which I wasn't even chasing the book, but the opportunity was there and I picked it up. And then just a few weeks ago, on a special Comic Book Editions Volume 150, I showed you the second appearance of Capt Marvel, first appearance of Carol Danvers. And I thought that the cycle had kind of ended itself with Comic Book Editions Volume 150 video. But apparently it hasn't, because here in Comic Book Editions Volume 153, we're back with another AOK, which has been inspired by all those previous videos that I just mentioned to you. So after I published Volume 150, Tony got a hold of me and he said, I have a copy of this book. He told me what it was, which is the book that's inside here. I'll make you wait for the reveal. He said, would you be interested in having it? It's yours if you want it. And I was so shocked again at his generosity, not surprised, but this comic book community is so generous and so awesome, and I'm so appreciative more of the friends that I've made. As I've said, the books are great, but the friendships are better. And this is a book, actually, that I have been hunting. Even very recently, like even the night before Tony DM'd me and offered this book to me, I was hunting this book. So I was just like, yeah, wow. There is something in this back corner here. You probably, maybe, I don't know if you can see that. It's raised up a little bit. I don't know if that's something extra or what, but it almost feels like a little mini action figure or something in there. So I want to be very careful. Maybe it's nothing. But I guess the way to find out is to open it up. I'll put you into fast forward mode and we'll find out together what was sent. Hang tight. Okay, there was something a little extra in there, and 2 channel pins and 2 channel stickers for Oldwolf65. That's pretty awesome. That's the second time I've gotten buttons now too, little pins. Rob Boswell sent some as well. I love that. Thanks, Tony, for including that. That is awesome. And it was shipped in a Comic Tom mystery mailer. Although, you know, I seem to remember Tony on his channel just unboxing recently, a few weeks ago, a Comic Tom mystery mailer. Maybe this was the exact same mailer. And also, Old Wolf on his channel a couple weeks ago did his first edited video, which I thought he did a great job on. He's doing some hangings of these Royak Studios floating heads. And I always want to call it Royal Oak Studios. I never know why I want to do that, but I had never seen anyone have those or seen any videos outside of Royak's videos that they posted on their social media. But man, Tony, I love how they look in the background on your wall. That's cool. And like I said, I thought you did a great job in the editing of your first edited video as well. If you'd like to check out Tony's channel and subscribe, I really wish you would. It's a great way to show support to the community. I've left a link for his channel as well in the description for this video. But onwards to the book that I'm going to share today. Let's find out what it is. We've got a nice note here. Sorry it's not in better shape, but you can use it as a placeholder for now. Tony Old Wolf. Not concerned about that, just excited to have the book, Tony. Okay, and I'm taking you on a fast forward mode for the reveal. This is the book I wanted. How about that? Captain Marvel, Volume 1, issue number 18. Now, this is from 1969, and this was really the next Captain Marvel book I really wanted. And there's a reason for it. If you're not familiar off the top of your head, the significance of this book, it really has something to do with Carol Danvers. So I got Carol Danvers' first appearance that I showed you in Comic Book Editions, Volume 150. But Carol's exposure to the exploding Psyche Magnetron is what would be the source of the powers that would cause her to become Ms. Marvel later on, although we didn't know it at the time. So to me, as a Carol Danvers fan and a Carol Danvers collector, that's significant. We don't see her become Ms. Marvel until Ms. Marvel Volume 1, issue number 1. I had the full run of the Ms. Marvel Volume 1s and working on some of her Bronze Age guest appearances as well. But to me, outside of her first appearance, this is a very significant book to have. I have to tell you, and I'm not sure why, for whatever reason, have confused the events that happen in this book with happening in Captain Marvel number 12. I always think it's number 12 that it happens in, and it's not, which is completely weird because in 12, Captain Mar-Vell was in his own original green and white costume. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second issue where he changed to his newer costume. This is the costume I prefer a little bit more myself too, and the one that I think is more traditionally thought of when the Captain Mar-Vell character is thought of too. Although, you know, he's kind of still has the white hair here, and they'll eventually kind of fade that into blonde and make him a little bit younger, I think. This is an exciting comic book for me to have, and I'm so stoked. I am becoming a much bigger Captain Marvel series collector. I've always liked the character, always enjoyed the character. Didn't have a lot of his books from his own title. And now here I am with, you know, another key book and a key book for Carol Danvers, who I've always loved too. Incidentally, I prefer Ms. Marvel's second costume better to her original costume. Now, her original costume very much is an homage to this, but I do prefer the black lightning bolt with the red sash costume a little bit better. So thank you so much, Tony, for thinking of me and for your generous offer of AOKing this my way. I am so stoked to have this into my collection. This isn't that expensive of a book. I mean, there's a little bit of significance for the key, but I mean, price-wise, it's not horrible. So I probably would have gotten this eventually, but Tony, you made eventually happen a lot faster. I don't know what I can do to thank you enough for the kindness that you show me, but I hope you know how appreciative I am and how much I'll enjoy this book and think of you when I do, or just skimming through my long boxes or even my CLZ app, knowing that I have this book now because of you. So it's one off of a goal list for me, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you, my friend. Truly appreciate it. So as we come to the close of this Comic Book Editions 153 video, let me tell you what's coming up. Maybe even as early as next week, I'll have a prize win unboxing, a slab, from the Jedi Knight. And I won it during the Omni X-Men Season 3 giveaway wrap-up show. So we'll talk about that this month on Comic Book Editions video. If you want to share my channel with someone that you think might enjoy it, that's another great way to show support. Give me a thumbs up and a comment below. Do you own either one of these comic books? Interest in either one of these comic books? Are there Lois Lane or Capt Marvel comic books that you're chasing? Or is there a particular favorite that you have in your collection that you want me to know about? I'd love to dialogue about really anything that you want to in the comment section below, as your comments are welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. Thanks again for making it to the end of this Comic Book Editions video. Join me for Fanboys Live and the Retro Review on my YouTube channel coming up this weekend. And, of course, there's the back issue of the week short that dropped yesterday. We'll catch you next week. Take care. Bye.